We got some good things going on. I think you can see the fruit thereof. The hardest thing to measure when you're measuring a spring game is if the offense does well, that means the defense is not doing well, and vice versa. You hope to see the quarterbacks not throw interceptions like we did on the last play. You hope that they move the ball down the field. You hope that defensive backs are aggressive and physical. It's a multitude of things, but the main thing is you don't want to get anybody hurt. I think we got two strained MCLs or whatever today. I don't know if it's strained is the correct terminology, but they didn't tear them, so we're going to be okay with that.
Hey, Coach.
What's going on, boss? You all right? What'd you do?
Torn ACL.
How?
Tournament pickleball?
Pickleball that aggressive?
Singles. Singles tournament.
My God. Come on, man. You
Tore
got it.
everything.
Come on. I'm used to you right here, man. Come on. All right.
Hey, so you obviously had two new coordinators this year. What did you get? What did you think of their performance this spring, and what do you hope to get out of them coming forward?
First of all, these guys are really good. They are really detailed. The best gift that I believe that they have is not just the X's and O's, is how they relate to their players. We have a situation now where these kids aren't just coming and desiring to play for me. They want to please their coordinators as well, and I'm happy and I'm elated about that. These guys know how to motivate and use the personnel that they have available. They have exceeded all expectations that I have for them, not just as football guys, X's and O's, but the men that they are. I told a story last night at the clinic that we had for the in-state coaches amongst Colorado. I had to go to the hospital a few weeks back, and I said, guys, I called them in and said, guys, I got to go in. I'll be gone for 2 or 3 days. You guys got it, handle it, run it like a darn well-oiled machine. First thing they said is, Coach, let me pray for you. That's the kind of men that are standing beside me, and I'm blessed and happy to have them. They have exceeded any expectation I may have had.
Good afternoon, Coach.
What's going on now?
After last year's spring game, Juju admitted that he was a little bit nervous going out there the first time in Folsom Field. It looked like he was pretty poised out there today. What was your takeaway?
He was a lot better, and I think that's very easily to obtain when you got Danny Scudero on your side. He is a dog, and having a comfort level with the playbook and the way Coach Marion communicates on the set. You got to understand that was the first time that all the coaches got an opportunity to communicate. We did it in practice, we had it in practice on Thursday, but to hear it. So down in distance, this and that, everybody playing their roles, you got to be on your game. You got to be on point. And it was something to behold. A few guys got yelled at for sure. Not doing their job accordingly, but it was good to hear. It was good to understand where we are.
Coach, one thing I will say is you've always attracted a lot of skill position players. I saw a lot of speed and athleticism out on the field. Can you name some names of some guys who shined out a little bit in the spring practice?
A multitude of the receivers, all the guys that didn't get hurt. We had some guys not play today, but they warmed up and they practiced earlier on, and they got their work in. But we got a lot of speed at the receiver position, and we have guys that can get vertical as well as move chains. Joseph, he just coming out of surgery, as well as a couple of others. And we're going to get them back this summer, and that's going to be even more adrenaline, in that offense that we have. I love Coach Marion. He's unbelievable. I was going to say a genius. I don't want to call anybody a genius because you're going to hold him accountable to that. But he's unbelievable at getting guys the ball in the manner that they're accustomed to getting it. He's really good at that.
Brian Howell over there, Cameron. A couple for you. I asked you this the other day about no spring portal, but I want to ask further, without that, how much further along do you think you guys can be without that, knowing that this is your team and you can kind of build
Well,
on this?
you're already farther along because you know what you got, you know what you need to work on, you know the players that need to improve. We've already had our exit meetings. We did that already this week, so the coaches could have fun with their families these next couple days and focus on their families. But we know what we got to work on. We know what guys got to step it up. We know what guys got to, they might not be those guys that we thought they were, but they still have time to get bigger, stronger, faster, and understand the playbook. So overall, out of all the positions, I may want a couple of positions to step it up a bit. Other than that, I like where we are. I really do.
And I also want to ask you, for the last 4 years, you've been able to run Mata out there and kick field goals.
Yeah.
And, rely on him. You don't have him anymore. Where do you feel like that competition is? Has Elliott kind of taken that?
It's not a competition. Elliott is the guy. Yeah, Elliott, everybody know their roles right now. Elliott is the guy. We have the utmost faith and confidence in him. He does it every practice. He's going to be the guy, and he's going to surprise a lot of people in this room. He's really good, and he has really stepped it up.
Hey, Coach Tyler King with the Denver Gazette. You guys have talked for multiple years as a staff and as a program about wanting to be better running the football. And it seems like this group is maybe as capable as you've had just with the offensive line and the scheme and the backs you have. Are you pleased with kind of that entire group in that aspect of the game?
One thing I want you guys to be notable of is I feel as though each year the offensive line has gotten a little better. A little better, a little better. That's the hardest position to recruit because people normally don't let linemen get away if they're good. They hold on to them. But we have probably 8, 9 guys that can start on this team. And they're fighting for position. They're fighting for just plays. But that enhances the running game tremendously, as well as the creativity from the coordinator to move guys around, and as you saw in the first play of the game, and to get guys the ball in the fashion they're accustomed to getting the ball. But we're going to be all right running the football, I know. It's just who's going to be those 2 guys. That's the thing. Who's going to be those 2 guys?
Coach, apologize if this is too personal, but you just mentioned you were in the hospital for a procedure. Is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm
Okay.
good.
Now-
I'm good. Clots. Blood clots.
Okay. Sorry to hear that.
No, I'm
Everything
good.
went well.
I'm good. That was, what was that, 3 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago. I'm sorry I didn't tell you guys. I apologize.
My question to you is obviously after not being able to be here much last summer, how do your plans change this summer?
Tremendously, man. I mean, first of all, knowing what we have and knowing how to develop what we have, it's tremendous. That's something that I know a lot of people don't give us credit for, but it's amazing how some guys come here and you never knew them. But they leave, and not only do they have a name, but they're making money. That means they've been developed tremendously. So I'm proud. I'm really proud of the staff of that, and I think the staff has elevated tremendously. I know the staff has elevated tremendously. I'm still going to be here and hands-on, and especially with the corners. But I love what I'm seeing from everybody, and especially the strength and conditioning guys, even the trainers. They're doing a phenomenal job of getting guys back healthy, along with the doctors that we have on hand. They're doing a great job as well. But as for me, it's different when I'm here. I know you guys might not know because we don't invite you to practice all the time, but everybody inside these doors could tell you it's different when I'm here. I'm gonna go fishing, believe that, but I'm gonna take my breaks like every other coach. But 'cause I love to be here anyway. But when I go home, I gotta wet the line a little bit as well.
Thank you, sir.
And see my kids. Right, baby girl? Thank God she's 2 hours away, and I could drive and see her, or we could meet halfway. I think meet halfway is better.
Coach.
My man, baby, you know who this is? Tell me who that is, Jack.
Congrats on the commitment too yesterday.
That's Jack. Go ahead and say it.
Jack Carlo.
That's Jack Carlo.
Wanted to ask about the early
Hold on,
enrollees.
Jack. Let me stop you for a minute.
Okay.
So who else? 247 is they're hiring everybody right now, right? Right? Who else is with 247?
I'm the one guy at Buff Insider.
Okay.
But
I heard something. Somebody must have told me something about somebody else. I don't know who it was.
yeah,
But I'm like, man, they must be desperate.
we talk later.
No, not about you. You know what I mean. That's what I heard. I'm just saying I heard.
Get that later.
I heard.
I want to ask about the early enrollees. We saw Mojo had a nice pick there at the end. Just what
Yeah.
stood out to you most about that group?
The early enrollees, it's hard to really understand who was that. You know, I'm getting older. Those guys are coming, man. Like, everybody played today. Everybody got the proper time that they could display their attributes. You know, Mo made the big play, of course. But we got some youngsters that's going to help us. They're going to help us tremendously. Even if they're not helping us on offense or defense, they're going to help us on special teams. So I'm excited about that class. We still got a couple more guys that's going to be here this summer that I think is signees as well. I think they're in town right now. What else you got, Jack? That's all you got for me, dog? What we going to eat, man?
Longmont? Anywhere?
Where's your spots?
Anywhere downtown.
What
I
is
don't wanna
downtown?
highlight.
What is downtown Longmont?
Like, they have like a Main Street there. Have you checked out Main Street
You
yet?
mean that it's a lot of like Mexican restaurants
Oh,
on
yeah.
it?
I
Okay.
don't want to highlight anything.
Okay.
I got the endorsement deal there,
You got endorsement?
but no, I don't want to like give. Red Lobster.
Oh, that's my spot.
That's your spot.
It's my spot.
I have a couple friends over
A
there.
couple of the waiters I know by name.
I know the
Yeah.
I know them
You know what he told me? They
Yeah.
do a good job.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm a decent tipper too. I'm really good.
I'm sure they appreciate that.
I'm sure they do.
Okay. Thanks, Coach.
All right, buddy.
Hey, Coach, Scott Proctor,
What's going on,
DVR.
Scott?
Good to see you.
You too.
You mentioned earlier this week that you love like 3 cornerbacks, but you feel like the rest of the room kind of needs to step it up a little
You're
bit.
true.
What did you see from them today, and what exactly are you?
I saw
looking
the same
for
thing
the
I've been
rest of the way?
seeing. I want to see aggressive. How many passes did we throw today? Do we have any stats on that?
haven't, Coach. We had a little malfunction, so I'm gonna work on it right after this.
Okay. Let's just say we threw 20, they threw 20 passes. We got to break up, at least 5, get our hands on a couple of them and, maybe one pick. We can't have no pass breakups out of 20 to 30 passes. That's not a good sign. These guys are working. They know what I want. We just had our meeting yesterday. We're brutally honest with them, but I challenged them to go to the next level. Everybody getting a check now, man. I expect you to earn it. I really do. And I mean that.
Hey, Coach Lincoln Roach.
Lincoln Roach.
That red lobster.
Why did you say that like with emphasis? We had roaches growing up, so, I dropped 36 points one night with 4 roaches in my shoe. I took my shoe off after the game and like roaches fell out of that thing. And after I dropped like 36, they killed me. My teammates murdered me that night about you dropped 36 with 4 roaches in your shoes. So I didn't make fun of your name, but you said that like you tried to run by it real quick.
Fair enough. When you got to CU, you really put the school on the map, bringing the national attention.
I think you guys did a tremendous job of helping me. I didn't do that alone. Like, bad or good, media is media. And people wants to know what you're talking about, whether it's bad or good. So you guys did a heck of a job of helping us get on the map.
Well, with that, this is your first spring game not to air on a network,
Right.
airing on the YouTube.
Yeah.
What's needed to bring back that national attention, getting those networks wanting to air
That's
those
not
games?
just us. It's no one's valuing spring anymore. You got several major colleges not even having spring games. The only thing that will bring that back is we compete against another school. And I've been saying that for the last several years, but, I'm glad I ain't say what I was thinking. But, I can't be the first one to say it. So that's what that's what's needed. And winning also helps increase that, but people get tired of the same old at a certain point, and you want more. I think this world is conditioned that we want more, and things are so different in college football right now with kids moving and kids leaving, so it's no loyalty somewhat of kids staying, so it's hard for the fan base to get to know all these kids and to buy in and say, you know what, I'm going to support that. Hey, he's gone. I'm going to support it, but they're gone. So I understand that wholeheartedly, but we have a tremendous fan base. We have a tremendous student body, and we still have a lot of people out there that's crazy about CU football, and I'm excited about that.
Last year we were the only spring game on linear at all.
Yeah, so that tells you a lot. Yes, sir.
Hey, Coach Harrison Simeon, Buffs and SI. You talked about being hands-on, close to your relationship with the corners, and after that touchdown to Scudero, saw you kind of coaching up Braylon Edwards there. Can you talk about maybe?
Well, let me tell you what I told him. You got to stay outside. What is Danny running right there, post?
Corner.
He's running the corner. You knew that. I knew that. Everybody, their mama knew that. Get your butt outside and use the safety that's on the inside. First of all, it's a matchup with Danny versus a safety. That's favorable. So you got to do your best to understand the knowledge of the game, but it's a freshman. It's a freshman.
And on that note, can you kind of talk about maybe have you sensed that you've evolved as a coach and some of those one-on-one conversations you've had with players individually?
Well, I've always had one-on-one conversations with players. I've always had tremendous relationships with our players that exceed football. It's not just about football. I love to increase that and enhance that in every way imaginable, but I feel like I've always had a pretty good relationship with guys on the team. Last year was a little different because some came in that I didn't even know until I got here for fall camp, and that was new. That was different for me. That was tremendously different for me.
Hey, Coach, a couple more for you, but are you enjoying the challenge of coming off of last year and trying to make it better?
We're going to make it better. We're not trying. We already have with the staff as well as the players that's inside the locker room. I love it. I love the everyday grind of it. I love just learning new things on a daily basis about these young men, about our coaching staff as well, and things that we need to do to make sure we're better. That starts off with certain positions, and I think we've improved in those positions. But things definitely are, I'm not going to say 100%, but things are tremendously better on the field as well as with the staff.
And then I want to ask you more of a kind of a bigger picture question is, throughout your time here, I think even go back to Jackson State, you've never been shy about giving a young coach an opportunity.
Yeah.
Like a Dante Carter.
Yeah.
Or
or an old coach opportunity.
Yeah. So why is that important to you to give these guys opportunities to, kind of elevate in their job?
That's always been important to me. You got to understand, someone gave me a shot. Someone gave me a chance, whether it was way back in the day playing youth ball or even as a pro, going from the Yankees to the Braves to the Cincinnati Reds. Like, somebody gave me a shot. So I believe that. I don't. Sometimes the old school way ain't the right way. It worked in that era. But sometimes, you got to microwave some things and give those guys that has worked their butts off and has relationships with these kids, you got to give them opportunities. And he deserved it, man. He deserved every bit of it. If you understand how these kids relate to him, you would understand the why. If you understand how good Coach Niblett is and how he relates to his players, you understand why I gave a high school coach an opportunity. You got to understand those type things. Sometimes you guys don't get an opportunity to have a glimpse at those things, but it's real. And this staff is really good at relating to these youngsters. They're really good at that.
Liam Howard, Buffs on SI. Coach, you talked about Danny a good bit already, but
Yeah.
what was your favorite thing that stood out to you about his game today, and what has he meant to this team since arriving here in Boulder?
I don't think he's missed a day of practice. That's number one. I don't think he's received a loaf in practice. That's number two. And he comes to play and to win every day. As one of the kids came today dressed inappropriately, had his shirt all tucked up and all that. I said, Danny, come here for a second. Danny ran over there. I said, you see him, how he's dressed? That's how I want all y'all to dress. You see him, how he acts, how he plays? That's how I want every last one of you receivers to play. So he is the role model of that room, and I love everything about him. He's a pleasure and an honor to coach. I reached out to a dear friend of mine that he reminds me of, a guy by the name of Julian Edelman. You might know him. And I wanted to connect the two because Jules could give him some tremendous insight because Danny got that. He got that that Jules had. And I wanted him to learn from someone of that nature and that stature that's a bona fide winner, because that's who Danny is.
Last one, Leo.
Hey, Coach, Lee Rivera with BuffsMP.com. I know you had pregame talk with Keep Talib. I was just kind of curious.
Yeah.
What was that about?
Yeah, he, I think is it his nephew?
Yeah.
Yeah, his nephew is on the squad, and I picked him just because of my relationship with him. And I told him, I say, now you were so good, and we're cool, and I know you would never lie to me. So when you called me and told me you have a dog, you got somebody that you want to play for me, but he is like that, I don't even second guess it. It's like Brett Favre told me about one of the tight ends. I don't second guess it. You just do it. You just get it done. And the kid started off a little slow, but he's going to be in the mix and in the rotation. And like if we played right now, he would be in the rotation against Georgia Tech. But the kid can play, and that last name means something to me.
And lastly, I was just going to ask, where are you going to be fishing this summer?
At the crib, Lake Prime and Lake Time. I like to go catching. I don't go fishing. Hey, you guys, great job thus far. And we got to figure out a way to unite a little closer, even the ones that take shots. I don't give a damn about that. They've been shooting at me for a long time. We fishing. But so you could know more about how I think, how the coordinators think, like the moves we make, the things that we're doing, so you'll know and you're not guessing. Like I see sometimes some of you guys put potential starting lineup, and I just laugh like, come on, man, like, come on, guys. Like you got to really look at what's going on out there. Sometimes you don't get a glimpse, and we're going to try our best to let you guys in a lot more, so you could really see. Bless you, bless you, bless you. You all right, boss? Okay. Bless you, bless you, bless you. We just want you guys to really understand the program and the direction and where we're headed, and we want you guys to journey with us, good or bad. I like them both. God bless you.